When you go shopping, what's the main thing on your mind? Is it the style, pricing, store, or aesthetics? Before I became infatuated with the fashion industry, I bought clothes solely based on presentation and how it looked on me. I never once thought about who made it, where it was from, or how much it cost to make. 30 years ago, the United States made 95% of the clothes, according to the True Cost documentary made by Andrew Morgan in 2014. Now, we make 3%, and the rest is outsourced by developing countries. Production has doubled from 2000 to 2014 with the number of garments purchased each year by the average consumer, which also increases by 60% over the same period. Did you know that making 1 kilogram of fabric generates an average of 23 kilograms of greenhouse gases? Washing and drying 1 kilogram of clothing over its entire life cycle using typical methods creates 11 kilograms of greenhouse gases. Across nearly every apparel category, consumers keep clothing items about half as long as they did 15 years ago. Some estimates suggest consumers treat the lowest priced garments as nearly disposable, discarding them after just 7 or 8 wears. Nearly 3/5 of all clothing produced ends up in landfills within a year of being made. Fast fashion is a disease that has been affecting our environment since the blast of mass media. Everyone has the buy now, wear now attitude, so everything has to be made fast and cheap in order for H&M, Zara, Forever 21, Urban Outfitters, and much more to satisfy their customers. So these large fashion labels go to the garment factories and say, I need this to be made for $3. If you can't do that for me, then I'll go elsewhere. So in order for these factories to make money and have their own clients, they must meet demand. So they produce these garments for so cheap that they have to pay their workers so little, which then creates a cycle of poor environment and quality of life. The conditions are so bad at these factories that thousands of people have died from it. In 2013, there was a building that collapsed right outside of the capital Dhaka in Bangladesh, killing over 1,100 people. The reason that this happened was because the foundation in the building was cracked, but the factories had to fill orders and keep working, so they overlooked the cracked foundation and the terrible working conditions, and one morning in April, the whole building crumbled. Not only is fast fashion overworking and underpaying their workers to death, it also has greatly affected the environment. Because so many clothes are made at once, there are tons of clothes being discarded every day. These garments sit in landfills for over 200 years and decay, releasing terrible gases into the air and water. This is causing global warming and many individuals who live near the landfills incurable diseases such as cancer and physical deficits. We need to help the fashion industry by shining light on what fast fashion is doing to the world. We need to promote organic and sustainable fashion. There are people who dedicate their whole lives to making sure fashion resumes back to where it started. Some scientists suggest we need to recycle textiles and fabrics instead of letting them sit in landfills for 200 years. They pose the question, why can't we recycle clothes like we recycle paper? Some cotton farmers have reluctantly reverted back to organic cotton, which means it isn't genetically modified. Fashion labels like People Tree, Everlane, Pact Apparel, and so many more dedicate their careers to bringing back sustainable fashion in the US, ethical production, and artisan-made clothes. These companies are so important because they will revive the fashion industry to what it was before fast fashion. So maybe the next time you go shopping, think about where it came from and who made it. Buying into fast fashion is supporting it. Don't turn a blind eye and make ethical and fashionable decisions. Thank you for listening.